coming in a big way. It's coming in a big way. When it looks like God is coming too late, He's coming in a big way. When it seems like God is coming too late, He's coming in a big way. Hmm. When your neighbors are testifying, it's a sign and a signal that God is in your neighborhood. Good evening, everybody. And I see you. Uyo, I see you. Thank you, everybody. Sierra Leone, thank you for being a part of this global tribe and this global family. Again, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Thank you so very much. It's going to be great today. I just needed to sing that song for you. That when it seems as if God is coming too late, it's because He's coming in a big way. He comes late when He wants to come big. So please don't be discouraged. Don't give up. Please don't write yourself off. Because God is coming in a big way. Okay, I see you. I love you all. Thank you. Please like, share, and invite every other person or your loved ones to be a part of this. Uganda, I see you. Thank you, Aqua Evil. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so very much. Like, share, follow, and subscribe. It's getting better and better. Maryland, I see you. My guest is in the studio. One of the women I treasure so much. Her heart is amazing. She's a God lover. I don't call people God chaser because God is not running away and then we are chasing him. No. That's not the right way. She's a God lover, and it's amazing what God is using her life. Oh, thank you. I love you too, everybody. Thank you so very much. Liberia, appreciate you. Please welcome with me tonight, South Africa, Port Harcourt. Thank you. Thank you, Ghana. Thank you, Minnesota. Thank you. Welcome with me tonight, my beautiful sister, Pastor Adeyemi Adeyemi. Ooh, beautiful lady.
Wow. Good evening, Mama. Or is it good evening at your end? Thank you for having me on Navigate with FFA, the only FFA herself. I am honored. I am honored to be here. And hello to everyone, wherever you've joined from in the world, Liberia, Nigeria, the United States. I'm glad to be in the room in your midst today.
Thank you so very much. We are glad to have you. Thank you. This is a global tribe, and people they join us from everywhere: Zambia, UK, Japan, UAE, Ghana, and they are welcoming you. Somebody says you are her mentor, his mentor. While showing you love. I see in the comment section. And then somebody says, "I miss you so much, Pastor Nick."
Thank you.
Well, thank you for showing her love, so much love. Thank you very much. She's loving you right back. So, beautiful life. You and I have known each other for decades. But for the sake of my audience, who is Funke Adeyemi outside of ministry, marriage, Adeyemi, real woman, another? Who is Funke Adeyemi?
Well, thank you so much. Well, first of all, Funke Adeyemi is a child of God. She's a lover at heart. Growing up, she's someone who was very tender-hearted. I think as my name is, so am I. Adenike. Nike means to care for someone. The crown cares. From a royal family, I'm royalty, I humbly say. I'm proud of my spiritual royalty in God, in Christ, but I'm also happy about my natural royalty. Simple family, came from a very simple family, humble family, what you call middle class in those days. My parents, my father was a university lecturer, University of Ibadan, a teacher, an excellent teacher. He was always with students. Students were always around him, in his office, in his lab. And my mom also worked in the university, but she was an administrative secretary with an economic NISA, but it was within the university. That is where they even met. Before I was born, they met on that university campus because my dad was a student of that university and ended up, being a teacher there. And we ended up growing up there in that environment. So I was brought up with, love. They did loved us as much as they could. We look back and they tried as much as they could, right? Our parents were not perfect. There is no perfect parents, but we look back and we say they did the best they could, right? And in those days, our houses didn't have fences, so we could go from one friend's house to the other on the University of Ibadan campus. We could ride our bicycles from one end on Saturdays to the library, to staff club. We'll all meet. There wasn't any insecurity, honestly, growing up. And it's not about wealth. It's just that the environment was safe. It was safe. And so even times when my dad had the opportunity to go to the US and different parts of the US for his 1 year sabbatical every 6 years, he will take us, we'll go for a year, we will come back. Nobody thought of staying behind. Nobody thought of jackpot. Nobody thought of staying behind because life was good. We weren't wealthy, but there was nothing threatening us. My younger sister, who is 3 years younger than me, my mom brought her pregnancy. I think my dad, one of those times, went to University of, was it Berkeley or somewhere in the US, and he was doing a study for about 4 months. And my brother, I'm the oldest of 4. It's me, then a boy or a man, then a woman, then another man. And so the older 2, she left us in the house right then on campus, on the University of Ibadan campus. And her mother came to stay with us as my grandma because her parents lived in Ibadan city, in the town. And it's her father that eventually became the king of Ibadan, further. But her mother came to stay with us. And we also had stewards. They were good people. The house helps then were not house helps. They were aunties. they were deputy mommy. That's how life grew. They were deputy mommy. If you don't finish your food, she said, I will tell mommy when you come, you will run and finish your food. We were afraid of them. We will honor them. We didn't say that you're house help. And so she was out there with my dad. But she brought my sister's pregnancy back to Nigeria when she was about to deliver. I don't know, maybe 8 months or so pregnancy. My dad said, stay and have this child here. Then let's return together. I only have about 2 months left on this program, And she said, no, Nike and Kunle, that is me and my brother. I didn't hear that story until much later. My sister right now, she's like, what? She said, no. And even when she was telling us the story just a few years ago, my sister was there. My sister was like, no. And she's the only one that maybe still is fully in Nigeria, fully. She's an excellent teacher, excellent educator. She's doing really well as well. But both my brothers live in America. I'm one leg, Nigeria, America, in between. But he said, mommy, why? Mommy said, I did. He said, Daddy said, ask your mommy. I told her to stay with me. She was running back. And then I said, Mom, but I was only barely 3 years old. My brother was 1.5. We can't even remember that you made that sacrifice to run back. Did you trust your mom, grandma, to stay with us? We can't even remember. So it wouldn't have impacted us that, they left us behind. But that is how life was in Nigeria, especially in the academic environment. It was a very simple life. And that simplicity, I dare say, it's difficult to still take it away from me. I do not boast, but in all, it's difficult to take it away from me. Yeah. So that was my background, basically. I was very compassionate. I couldn't call it compassion then, but I know I was very caring and tender-hearted because I hope my brother is not watching. My brother, they won't have to. Even my brothers, when they get into trouble and my mom brings out her cane, I'll be crying. I mean, I reported
Okay.
them that, oh, they did this. Is there anything going on?
I can't hear you. Is it me?
Wow. Can you hear me? Everybody, let me see. Type in the comments if you cannot hear me.
Now we can hear you. We can
Can
hear
hear me?
you.
Okay. Yeah, so I might have reported them that, oh, they did this. But the moment, I remember when you said that she brought her teen and she wanted, and I was crying, please, mommy, please, don't beat him. Leave me. And I regretted that I reported him. But I saw that my heart couldn't take things like that. So I'm firm. um, I can be a bit principled, tough, forthright, blunt, say it as it is, but I'm also very tender-hearted. But I realized that it was right from my youth. When I was about, I'm not sure whether I was 12 or so, I think I traveled with my mom. I was in Chicago in my uncle's house just for a brief holiday, and we were watching Roots, this African American, the story of slavery. Kunta Kinte and all of that. I cried all through the movie. I cried. Even recently when they said they were showing the series, I couldn't watch it because I remember when I watched it when I was young, I cried. How can you be beating someone like this? I was crying, and I remember my mom said that it's just a movie, but like it's based on a real life. I couldn't watch 12 Years a Slave on when I'm on the flight. I tell myself I will not watch any movie that would cause me pain, even though I know it's maybe not real life. So, yeah, so it's a heart of compassion. It's always been there. But then, of course, the Holy Spirit now is using it the way He wants to use it. So, I'm a simple person, a bit on the fun loving side. But I thank God for the call of God on my life. Thank you. Yeah. I studied architecture at the Obafemi Awolowo University. Are you still listening? Oh, you can hear me. Yeah. I'm in the show. Okay, great. Okay, so while we wait for her to get connected back to us, I'll talk a bit about the Real Woman Foundation, which is what she's. The Real Woman Foundation, started about, let's say about what, 22 years ago, December 1999. No, actually, in 1997, I was touched. I began to notice prostitutes on the streets of Lagos, not too far from where our church was located at that time. My heart will go out to them as we go from Oregon area. We're going to Allen, where we lived, and I will see them, on the streets, especially in the evenings at night. And my heart will go out and say, oh, this is someone's daughter. This is someone's niece, selling their bodies. And I would just feel that compassion and that curiosity. I feel like talking to them, talking some sense. I'm like, do you know what you're doing? But I knew, of course, that would not be wise for me to go take that approach. One day I was talking about it in church. I was, I think, sharing, and I mentioned that. And someone after church told me that, oh, there's a brothel nearby. And so one day, one bright and sunny day, I went in, just put on my jeans, dressed really, really casually, and went in there without a Bible, nothing. And I was hoping to strike up, a conversation with whoever I would find, because I knew that they lived, a number of them just lived in there. If you're familiar with Lagos, or I think Nigeria in general, you know what you call face me, I face you. Bungalows that have small rooms inside that just open up into a hallway, in the narrow hallway, into a corridor. And at the end of the hallway, you have the conveniences, the shared bathrooms and kitchens. So I stood in that hallway. I stood at the entrance, and I was hoping to see anyone that will just pass by. Yes, welcome back. So I was talking about the Real Woman Foundation, how it all started, Mama. And so I stood at the door of that face me, I face you, bungalow. I stood at the doorway, and I was hoping someone will pass by. And this lady, passed by, and I just spoke to her. I said, hello, good afternoon. I'm looking for my sister. And she stopped. She said, oh, okay. Your sister? All right. Is she tall? Is she fair like you? What's her height? She was just trying to she wanted me to describe this person. As I was describing this imaginary person, I wasn't looking for anyone in particular, And when I saw that I couldn't keep up with the lie, I call it creativity. That was the creativity that the Holy Spirit gave me. Just say you are looking for your sister. And of course, they are my potential sisters. They are my sisters. And so when I saw I couldn't drag on with the lie, I said to her, actually, I came to see you. I'm not looking for anyone in particular, but you're a fine girl. I was just literally toasting her, hyping her up. You're beautiful. What are you doing here? She first frowned, squeezed her face like, oh my God. I'm like, you deserve more. So I was chatting her up. And so she realized that I wasn't, I'm one of those those born again people that have come, but I disguised. But then she listened. She leaned on the back. She leaned against the wall, which was right beside the door. I think the door of her room, because I think her room was the first or second one. Anyway, she leaned against the wall, and I was talking to her, and I was back in the hallway. So I began to talk to her about her life, about how, there are options to this prostitution thing. I just thought to come and just see you guys and all of that. Somewhere along the line, one lady passed beside, and as she passed, she came from outside. I don't know where she was. Anyway, she passed behind us, and she said, Sandra, now born again. I can still remember, because I still remember the emotions I felt. Sandra, now born again. Sandra said, no, now my sister. I was so relieved. This lady would have run me out of that place. And this lady, she had a bucket and a towel, around her chest. So obviously, she was going to the bathroom. And she said, good afternoon, ma. She quickly curtsied and greeted me. I was a very young person, ma. I was wearing jeans. I was How old was I? Even 30 yet? I was very young. But she just greeted me. And she continued. And I said, Sandra, God bless you. And so Sandra took me into her room. We entered her room, sat down on the floor. These 3x6 mattresses, student mattress on the floor. You see, when they put that mattress in the room, push it to the corner, there isn't even much space left. The space around it is not even up to the size of the mattress. You just walk around, the Afghana must go back. No, the one that is doing well, just have one small fridge in the corner. I'm like, what life is this? I sat on the floor, talked to her. She gave her life to Christ that day. She became my first friend and convert there. I didn't know that's what you call friendship evangelism. I didn't know. A few years or months after my husband was teaching in church, and he was saying there are different types of evangelism, friendship evangelism, door-to-door. It was just, I don't know all the nomenclatures, all the definitions. And I realized that, yes, that's the one I like. That's the one I know. Friendship evangelism. These guys go into the bar, go into the, what is going on with them will not jump on you. Okay? They, whatever in this dispensation, they're different from us. But when the love of God is there, I knew I had something to give them. It was none of my business, in quotes, but it was my business because I'm my father's daughter. And they're also God's children and daughters, but they don't know better. So maybe say I'm a mother hen, naturally firstborn, look out for my younger ones. It was my business, but I've carried that into Christ, and it gave me a lot of fulfillment. At that time, early in my marriage, we had only been married. I think we only had our first, David was a little, I think just 2 at that time. Esther was just about 2 years old. Anyway, before that, early the years of my marriage, it was rough. And not rough in the sense, because rough is relative. When people say rough, if I say it now, people will like, is that rough? What you call rough? Please, everybody's pain is their pain. It's relative, Whenever anybody shares their pain, they'll say, is that all? That's your own problem. Come and hear my own problem. No, don't do problem competition. Don't do pain competition. Each person's pain is their pain. Even if your child says, I didn't have enough pocket money in school, so I went to buy biscuit. Don't say, there are children in Congo. There are children right now in Ukraine that don't have, yes, that is a fact. But everyone's pain is their pain. So don't compare, validate first, So for me, it wasn't that. It was just the fact that different temperament, like ambitious go-getter. I was already a young pastor, and I used to feel lonely. But God opened my eyes to just the fact that this love, don't constipate this man. It's true. You should love your husband. He should love you, but he can't be everything to you, right? And I'm not making excuses for him because it was not good. I wasn't having that quality time. But the Lord turned my eyes out of that. Look, there are those who need love. Go and pour it on them. Don't constipate it with us. God was not saying that what he was doing was okay, not giving me the quality attention, everything's church. But the fact that God always has options. He always sees different perspectives. Apparently, he was trying to build my ministry from the street. These ones are starved of love. These ones have had a lack of love in their background. So I discovered that from that girl, I made other friends there. I would go in there sometimes twice a week, every other day, or sometimes once a week. I'll go in there. I met her other friends, one by one. And I found out that I could listen to their stories. In their past, there's abuse. In their past, many of them, not only that Sandra girl, many of them had abuse. Many of them had, broken homes, or they've been not just broken homes, but they've been traumatized in their homes. Many of them had a history of incest, abuse, sexual abuse. Uncle has abused. And there was one that even confessed that my dad's friend has been sleeping with me since I was 12 or what? I'm now 21. I said, do your parents know? He said, no, I can't tell. I said, why can't you tell them? Why didn't you tell them? He said, this man has been my father's friend before I was born. I met him in our life. So it would be my word against him. And that began to tell me that children, many times, they feel adults won't believe them. So if your child doesn't want to go to school or says, hey, mommy, this teacher, they don't say, lazy girl, come on, get in the car. No, no. Even though the child may have lazy tendencies or playful tendencies or may not like school from time. If a child likes school and doesn't want to go to school on normal day, you wonder, okay, what's going on? But the child that doesn't even like school, and then on this day say, I don't want to go, you are bound to say, but look deeper. Look, they feel like if they see the truth, they will suffer doubly. They feel their parents won't believe them. They feel the adults will gang up against them. They'll feel like you are dreaming. They feel that they're little and is their word again. So she said, no, they will not believe me. This man has been my father's family friend before I was born. She believed that her father would believe that man against her. So she never told them. And there were many stories like that. So that is part of what pushed me into even the foray of family life. A lot of people tell me, you're a family life minister, you're a family coach, you're a marriage coach, you're a family. I'm like, okay, yes, but I'm not owning that alone. I came into the passion for family life, not because, I had a great family life growing up, no, but because of this brokenness that I saw. I could trace their prostitution to broken family, to not just broken family, but to the abuse that has happened under the watch of their parents. So a girl will feel like, if I was abused, they raped me, they took it for free. And then I hear in Lagos, I can make money. Let's say, auntie, it's just, they used to call me auntie, look, it's just for 1 year. After 1 year, I just want to gather money for school. How far? School start. Once I just gather money for school, then I will stop. I said, you won't stop this thing. Do you know there's HIV? Then around that time, yes, 1997-ish, HIV began to be apparent. It was new. People didn't believe whether it was true or not until Fela came out and said, yes, I have AIDS. I said, there's AIDS out there. This business is not profitable. There's AIDS out there. Do you want to catch it? Many times people didn't believe the AIDS thing until Fela came and they thought, that's Fela now. He has 27 wives, he has, concubines. And so I would say, okay, you can work as a house help. I will give them options. I won't even push the Bible down their throat that this, God hates this. Yes, God hates it. Once they God hates it, God, they'll probably tell you, God hates my poverty too. He hates my poverty too. Rather than go and raid and kill and shoot somebody or kidnap and ask for money. But I would, so they call it work. I just want to do this work for a while. I will now stop. Then go. But you know what? They were paying 100 naira per day. They were paying 100 naira per day to the owner of the brothel. There was this man that owned this brothel. I won't say which state it's from. He and his wife, the wife had a buka. Buka area. The wife had a buka, local restaurant in front of the place. The man and the wife owned that bungalow, whether it was rented or not. But every day, the man will go around and collect 100 naira from them. If you don't have 100 naira today, that means tomorrow you're now 200 naira.
I'm going to interrupt you. Wow. I just love the passion. And when you started, because at least I've known you for decades, when you started, it wasn't this popular. So I can't just stop thanking God for you. That's a very unique ministry. And you're so passionate about it. Yes, you are God's pride. You are God's pride, Pastor Deke. It's because of time that I have to interrupt you. But, a lot of people are making comments. Please tell us, can you share with us your love story? How did you meet your husband?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. So let me quickly just round up that today there is a home standing in Magodo, Lagos, because sometime after that, I looked for a home for them, a duplex, gathered money some years after that, and it's still running. I have staff there that are running, that are taking care of girls come and go. We train them. Some have gone on to university. Some, one or two, are living abroad, married, just over time. And then after a while, we set up an orphanage right beside it, Love Home Orphanage and the Real Woman Foundation in Magodo. I'm not there, but it's running. There's an excellent structure. Thank you, Mama. Well, my love life, we met in church. So there's nothing so whatever about that. But we met in church. I was a member of that Rema Chapel, Lagos, where he was a young pastor. I think he was about 24, 25. Yes, he was pastoring the branch of that church. He had come from Ilorin. I came from Ibadan, where I grew up. I came to Lagos to work, to serve, do my NYC and all of that. and I was attending that church. That's where he saw me. Yeah, we became friends first. We became friends, and when I was feeling God impressing in my heart, she said, you are blessed and highly favored among women. I'm like, okay. He gave me that word, which I still hold on to, which I still hold on to. Even in the early days when I feel bad, I say, God, but you said I'm blessed and highly favored among women. I kept it in my heart. Even my best friend then in church, I didn't tell her until he proposed and accepted. When I told her, she was like, Nike, and we just together. I said, please, this is very sensitive. This young man is our pastor. I can't, no, until he opens his mouth. So he saw me, came to me, talked to me. Like I said, we had been friends for a while. And sometimes I remember once or twice, even before he spoke to me, we were in the same room, maybe like after church, we're talking, or I'm in his office. There was a day like that. I remember like twice before he proposed. There was this strong chemistry that was like, God, what is going on? Number one, this guy, he is so skinny. If you knew him, then he was so skinny. His waistline was like, the first time I sat in that room, I looked and I was like, wow. I knew his brother, Pastor Victor. I knew his brother in Ibadan, because in Ibadan I had attended that Rema Chapel a bit, because the brother also was a branch pastor of that ministry. But they both left at the same time to start their ministry. So I knew his brother, not too close, but he was more extroverted, more my type, even though I didn't think of anything in terms of having anything to do with him, because he's even much younger than me and much younger than us. But I now came to Lagos, I realized the brother of the one. So how his waistline was. I didn't have any physical attraction. I can so be this skinny. Even me too, I was very skinny. Until this thing began to go on in my heart. So I can say that God spoke to me. But it's not like, and that's why I won't use that. Don't say wait for a loud voice before you. You may just feel that nudge in your heart. But one day God first said to me, it was like, he was saying, how would you like to be from Kogi State? This is the Lord. This is me and the Lord exchanging. Okay, who is from Kogi State? This guy's from what are we saying there? When I have conversations with God, I know when he's luring me into something. He's not saying marry this guy or you never have anybody, you are done. He was trying to woo me into it. I'm like, God, what are you saying? What are you saying? Of course, I yielded and I didn't struggle, because before he came to speak to me, even me, I was already liking him. I'm like, how can I was already like, so when he spoke to me, I was like, God, so it's true. Okay, fine. So we just grew up as friends. He's 2 months older than me. You think he's much older than me, because he's like that old soul kind of person, So we began to grow. A 10 months courtship, literally very different backgrounds, but we began to grow. I remember when he proposed to me. He didn't give me a ring. In those days, I don't know if ring was common. He didn't go down one, but he gave me a brooch, a small whatever, and he pinned it on my shirt. And he said, look, please, it has to be name basis. I remember he said that we should relate on a first name basis. He said that because he knows that he's young, but they be calling him pastor for, And so as we crossed 26, both of us just barely a year after dating and courtship, we got married. So yeah, we had romantic times, and we had he's a nice guy. Yeah, he's a nice guy, and I saw him as a nice guy, cool, calm, collected. He liked the fact that I was chatty with him. I was extroverted. I could talk. He didn't talk much at all, and it used to annoy me a bit, but I would go on talking. And one day he came to pick me up from work when I was still working with the architecture firm where I was working. And he picked me up from work one day. And I told myself that day, I wouldn't say anything today. I would see what he would say. And I kept quiet. And he was looking at me. We were driving. He didn't say, he was looking. And me too. So later I said, if I don't start a conversation, you will not. So after that time, he said, each time he comes around, he will have written that he will write some things on a piece of paper and put it in his pocket. Topics to raise. But fast forward to now, I realize that people are different. Some people are introverts. Some people are extroverts. That's how I'm wired. But yes, you must make effort. Don't just say, that's how I am. I don't talk. Take it or leave it. Now he talks, now we talk about anything, everything. I mean, 29 years married now, and I can say, yeah, he's my bestow now. Because again, there is nowhere we can
Wow.
throw ourselves. Yeah. And thank you. You are part of that too. Um, um, at some point in time in our lives, I mean, I would say this without shame that when there are times when I was looking for someone to really talk to, because as a pastor's wife, there's hardly anybody. Do you talk to a church member? Do you? And I'm not that kind of person that feel like church member was far from me, because we're all young when we started this star. Now, when we said this star, we were about 28. 28 years old. Today we're 55. 28 years old. This time is 27 years. So from my youth, this is not our pastor's wife where he was a branch pastor of another person's ministry. Now, when he started this time, we were about 28 years old with one child who was 11 months. Our firstborn was 11 months old, and then became the mommy of the church. So I wasn't mommy. Nobody called me mommy. I was everybody's sister. You like me, some didn't like me. Some are still having the overhang from how he chose me in that former ministry, because that's a whole baggage on his own, which I didn't know, that some people liked him and they were really wanting him to see them. And I didn't know. So, but it's been a journey. It's been a journey. During COVID, there was one day I sat and I almost was depressed that day, but I thank God that God caught me back. And during COVID, I just said, Lord, I spent my whole youth. How does that? Your 20s, then your 30s, and now I'm 50 something. And we're in COVID in America, and it's like, God, what is going on? And God was like, chill. And so all of this that we're here, that we're not back yet, and we'll be back at God's appointed time. It's God's journey. It's not a retaliation. It's not, Pastor Nikki has now cornered her husband in America, because some people are like, what Uber told me when COVID happened, she said, I know you'll be happy, you and Rev are in America. We didn't know how long COVID was going to last, but she was like, I know you'll be happy, you and Rev. Yes, we were locked down here with our 3 children who are grown adults. So it's all the journey. It's all the, this season, this past 2 years too, has made us closer. Just even being here has really, it's like maybe God wanted to compensate for that bond. Closer, but very busy. I could be on a live like this, he is on another Zoom call, but the good busy where if I walk and just wear slippers down our street and go for groceries, nobody's going to be shouting my name or shouting his name. So we're enjoying that exclusivity. When we're not preaching, we go to a church that nobody knows, and we just sit down, hear the word, and walk out. Can you imagine? That is bliss for me, so that we can last. So that, we've healed a lot during this time, and I'm so grateful. But in those early days, I was going somewhere, I won't forget, I was trying to say, there were some days that, I'll call you on the phone. Mama! Should I say it? I mean, it's my story, but
It's
you also have
okay.
a story.
We
Yeah,
are
because you
learning.
too will say, PN. There is a special reward. I remember you said that. There is a special reward from pastors' wives in heaven. Not that it's I saw it anywhere in the Bible, but I personally believe that you will tell me. Because what I need to have gone through, you now share some of your own vulnerable moments. I say, even you, she say, yes. People are eyeing your husband, people are, and all of that. So we had similar stories, but you were like the big sister, like the Elizabeth that had gone ahead of the Mary. So, because I would hardly open up to anybody else. And those I opened up to, and it's still, I got my fingers burned, because I didn't know that in their mind, they're thinking, see the angel, she's not even grateful. She's not even, see fine man, see good man. Is it the one on the pulpit that I'll marry? Even he himself knows, and he says, I know he's watching this live right now. Even he himself knows and says, they cannot be married to me. He knows. So that helped me from time to time when I had it up to here. And I said, I know my husband, he's a good man. And you too say your husband is a good man, but you see that goodness that they're good, that is sometimes the reason why everybody wants the attention, and then you now look like the bad guy, and all of that. It just comes with the terrain, Some people wishing you dead, some people wishing that seat is vacant, But today, I mean, it's all history. It doesn't mean that there still are people who don't, but I don't notice them. I don't care. The devil is still about his ministry. Yeah. trying to bring sadness in people's lives, and he won't stop doing his ministry, so don't stop doing yours. I've decided I'm going to love people. Whether I know you or not, I'm going to love you, because that's what Jesus said. He said we should go out and love people, preach the gospel. And one of the ways I preach the gospel is by loving people. But in this season, he's helped me to balance it, not to overlove, not to people please, not to love to the point of burnout. Okay, love, have boundaries. That's what he's been teaching me, because I'm just like this. Everybody, call my phone number. Yeah, I will just, I will tell you to help you. I will share my story. I will open, be vulnerable. But God said, be. And that's why in this season, I'm paying attention more to rest. I'm saying, pastor's wife, come and rest. Leading women, come and rest. Mothers, rest. Don't burn out, don't die before your time. Sometimes instead of buying that bag, you need to invest in that vacation. A vacation that will prolong your life, relaxation. The bag, if you die, people they will. Yes, even if it's in your will that bag should go to your child, someone will still take that bag. Whether you said, someone will still. But the rest and the refreshing. So I'm on that page now. Not that I want to
Thank you
live the
so
soft
very
life
much.
now.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel that we
Mm,
love on ourselves too. Yeah. And I know you
mm.
believe in that too. We work hard, we should also play hard. Yeah.
Thank you so
So
very
yeah.
much. We're so grateful that for the vulnerability. Thank you so very much. And one of the reasons why I bring people like you to navigate with me is so that people can understand the journey, the twist, the turns, so they know that success is not accidental.
Yeah.
There's a story behind the glory. Thank you so
Yes.
very much. This is so
Thank
inspiring. Pastor
thank
Nike,
you,
have
man.
you ever failed before? Have
Hmm.
you ever failed? Or has it always been smooth and ministry or in life generally? And what are the speed bumps? What are the things that you look back now and say, I learned how not to, Have you ever failed?
Yes, ma'am. I have. I have. In fact, over and over. Failure, yes, is all part of it. There are different types of failures. There's the big, obvious ones. There's the ones that you call small, but failure is still failure. I've failed exams before, back in school, due to maybe being over playful, or whatever, not being wise enough. I failed also in terms of the times maybe with my children, maybe with one of them, I was maybe overbearing or seemed to be controlling. That also is a kind of failure. But I learned
Mm,
to say, I'm sorry. I learned to recalibrate, right?
mm,
I failed also in, how do I put it? People pleasing, going with who I should not go with,
mm,
wanting this person to be my friend, to be close, and I bend over backwards just because. No, it's still a form of failure as well. Um, I failed also when, failure also is like, I don't know, every month before we had our first, I was trying to conceive. Every month, nothing. I conceived, I had a miscarriage first, and then it wasn't forthcoming, eventually came. At those times, you feel like a failure, but you are not a
mm.
failure. Failure is an event, it's not a person. You are not a failure, but there have been events where one failed, but we are not to personalize it. I'm trying to remember failures. Yes, when you lie, you failed because you're like, oh gosh, I lied. I failed the test, but God says, get up again. You do better. Failures too.
Thank
Sometimes
you.
when, yeah, just sometimes maybe you should pray, have your quiet time, but you're like, today, God, I'm not. And you just dump that and you go do something else. You failed, but God is like, okay, get up, you do better tomorrow. The
Mm,
thing is that, and I want women to know this, they may say because my temperament is maybe a little bit extroverted. The thing is that don't sit with failure. Don't see, love yourself. Because of my love relationship with God, I don't feel at any time he's holding a stick over my head that if you don't do this, I'll disown you. I kind of feel like I have latitude with him. you know, I don't know whether to share this. This is very personal. And this was very recently. I was having a conversation with him. I was going for a walk and I was having a conversation and I was grumbling about how I think I needed a new car. I think I needed a car here. Um, um, I felt like, okay, this car is 8 years old. We've been sharing it. We use it here and there. The children to use it, it has, but it's okay. It still moves around. But I was feeling like I need, and I was just walking and taking that walk. And I was even almost angry. And normally I'm not, if you know me, I'm not materialistic. I'm Adejumo. You know me. Mama FFA. You know me.
Thank
So
you.
I shouldn't
I
say
do.
this. No one say they can give their head away. Me, I will not give my head away. But I know that there's nothing Chanel bag, there's nothing. If you point and you say, I like this bag, and I feel like I should give, I can't give you at that very moment. In my mind, later, I might think, that bag was still good. Why did I give? And I'm thinking that, but I will very quickly tell myself, that's if I even think about it. That was hasty. Why did you? I'll quickly tell myself that it's somebody that's alive that can give someone bag. Maybe it's my hand to give her back. I would talk myself about the fact that that was what I was supposed to do, and that bag will not own me. If I would tell myself that, feeling bad that I gave it and wanting to regret it, I would say, Satan, get behind me. Bag, you can't own me. Bag. We carry one today, no name. The other one has name. Is it not even somebody's name? Is Chanel not somebody's name? I'm like that. I learned to abase and I learned to about. I'm not a car freak. I'm the kind of person that I would say, no be car, go. Early days of marriage, I would say, no be car. Whether you give me car, that quality time. I'm not good at receiving gifts, though I don't mind money. Because with money, I can use it for what I want. If you give me 5,000 naira, you give me $10. Sometimes I'd rather that than give me a set of pots or air fryer, because I feel like that's for the kitchen, that's for everybody. Give me cash that's smaller than that and let me use it for what I want. Let me even bless someone else with it. Let me even use it for an experience. Let me use it for my spa day. Let me use it for what I want, because you've given me freedom. You're not saying, this diffuser to smell nice in your home. That's not personal for me. That's for everybody. So I'm just hinting you, because I say it a lot that I give out gifts, but I'm not very good in receiving. I'm shooting myself in the foot. So money is good. So I'm not a car freak. I'm just like, a car that will get me from here to there. That won't break down. That's okay. I'm not all this big. But I was walking and God was saying like, what do you want? What do you want? One name just came to my mind, like a sports car. I just said, I know this thing I'm sharing is risky. Don't cut this
It's
part of the
okay.
clip when you post it. This part, don't cut this part. Cut another part, right?
Yes,
Please.
ma'am.
Because they think I'm not a prosperity preacher, but I'm not also a poverty preacher either. Those who know me. So,
We
and
are
the Lord,
all prosperity preachers. Let nobody label us. I wish above all things that thou mayest
that will
prosper.
prosper. In
And it
fact, I
doesn't
am.
matter
Third
what
John 2,
anybody feels
Third
about
John
it.
2 is where I am right now.
Yes. Don't worry. Go
So
ahead, please.
anything that will prosper our soul, right? So I was almost like complaining, Lord, no. And Lord said, go get it. Lord, be.
Yeah.
Go get, go. Just like that. And in
Kalabashanderia.
that moment, my countenance changed. And I thought, yes, he said, go get it, go carry it. He didn't care whether I'm carrying it because here you can put down payment and spread your payments. So I don't really like that. I like buying things debt free. I like buying things, wholesale. But God just said, go get it. And I knew that was the Lord. And I thought, Lord, okay. He said, go get it. And stop
Oh, got it.
complaining. And I felt again all over like my father's daughter. I'm like, Lord, he said yes. And so I thought about one powerful car. I'm not a car freak. I just thought, what are those high-end luxury cars? 2-door. That one that is only going to be only me and only me and my husband. This is not family car. When you see it, you know that this one is her own. It's personal. It's not the whole family. And I'm not selfish like that. I'm telling you, I share. Anybody can pick any car, pick any kid. And so I thought of one powerful name. And as I was walking on, me and my husband were walking. We're taking a walk. He was first ahead of me. We got to where we turned around. He turned around, and I now turned around where I was. I didn't get to that place. So by the time I was walking back, he was behind me. And I just started skipping home. Skipping. There was a skip in my beat. And when I thought of the car I wanted, I said, hey, Jen Donwo. I was Googling, trying to, as I was walking home. And within 3 minutes, this car passed by. Oh, I'm like, Lord, what are you? I'm not that type. I don't fleece God. I don't say,
love
if
Jesus.
let it pass by me. Show me a sign. No, I don't do those things. Those signs are no. If you have spoken, the sign is enough that the thought came into my heart, where I should go and carry it. No, that's enough for me. I don't say, if it is you, Lord, show me. Let someone bring it. No. But then I now saw that. I'm like, Lord, no, this is not.
I love God.
So when we got home, I told my husband, I said, I'm going to a car shop today. I said, yeah, which one? He now mentioned one name because he knew I wanted something the year before, trying to change that one to something similar. He said, is it Kini? He mentioned. I said, no. I said, it is. I mentioned the name. He said, really? Diallo. He now followed me. Followed though.
Reverend Time of Life.
I know he's watching. The man followed, wise man. He followed. He was like, hey, what are you saying? Who is buying the? He said, no. He said, talk to me. And I don't know if to say it here, but these are things I like to share with pastors in close coaching, intimate settings. It's not about my husband did buy a car from me, I bought a car. But it's not that. It's, I don't know how to put it. Generosity of heart. Generosity, giving is a calling for me. But then I forget I should give to myself. So at the end of the day, we shall carry it. The man shall.
Congratulations.
But I'm just saying.
I'm coming
to. If he was another man, he may be like, car shop, which one? No, I'm not. It could cause a fight to be like, you are going and you didn't tell me. So I said, I'm going. And he said, I'm coming with you. I didn't say, come, let's go and get it. He said, let's go.
Yeah.
Yes, because he knows
God
that.
Bless you, Reverend Sam.
My father, which God is also his own father. My father. When this girl says she wants to stop, she will do it. She will, But it's fun. Working with God is an adventure. But I've also had very, I won't call it failures, but I've also had very deep moments of sadness. Deep sadness. Apart from the early years, this is not my husband now, but even during COVID, where the enemy struck, I won't share the details, but you know about it, where the enemy struck during
and it was put to shame.
Thank God for now, everything. In 20, and it's not the end. Of course, in the midst of all answers going on, it's not even that, but the enemy struck. He struck. I'm like, what? But I didn't doubt God's love. I know, God, you love me. But he struck, it was a shaking of my life. I won't say the details because Mama, it was a shaking of her life. And days where I couldn't pray, like for 3 days, I could just say, Lord. I knew he loved me. It was tough. I've never seen anything like it before. People didn't know. I show up for life like this. When I finish, I throw my wig away. I throw myself on the bed. I have a good cry. And I've just finished a life, spitting fire, anointing them. I'm just like, hey, this means God. This is but the cry is praying to God, like how? And then I realized that, okay, you don't have 2 heads. Other people are attacked too, but this was an attack of life. But to God be the So I don't know if to call it a failure, but it's like I went deep into, like, it's like going into hell back.
We give God all the praise.
Leaders also suffer. The enemy also attacks us just because he feels like, you are setting people free. You are liberating people. Yeah, I will show you. But then may we stand strong. May we, even when we fall apart, may we gather together. That's why you say, rejoice not over all my enemy. I don't like preaching a rosy gospel, because the reality is that Jesus said, in this world, you will have tribulation. But be of good cheer. Be of good cheer. So cars, houses don't bring joy to us. When you are in deep problem, car can't solve it for you. But he's such a loving God. So now I say, I'm my father's daughter. He said, go and carry it. Lord, be.
And to if he points at it, to drive it. coming
If
to
he says,
drive
I
it.
have need of it, I say, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Woohoo!
It's yours. Let Lord be. So if you say,
Woo.
give it out, I'm Lord, I'm only a steward for you. I only hold in trust for you things that you. So for women here too, I'm just saying that even if you have money more than your husband, or you're doing so well, it's still for both of you. It's still you're holding it in trust for your family and for whoever God will say, give it to, share it with, inherit it. So don't bicker over, and we have joint account, we don't have joint account. You can have your separate account, but know behind you that it's for to be shared with this person at the appointed time. Because if God calls you home, all those things, the car, the everything, we shall leave it behind. So this is the balance I want to throw out. And
Thank you
he's
so
given
very much.
exceeding wisdom,
Thank
wisdom
you.
of witty inventions, real estate,
Thank
here
you
and
so
die.
much.
People don't know the business side of it, but there is no time to share that. So
Thank you,
thank you
Pastor
for the
Nike.
opportunity.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma. Thank you for having
Thank
me
you.
as
Thank you
well.
so very much. I said I'm coming to Atlanta to drive that machine. Because I know it's not a car, it's a machine. Thank you so much. People are saying that your sharing tonight is healing them. And this is the
Thank you,
purpose of Navigate with FFA. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you so very much for the wisdom. I can't believe that it's almost time. What would you tell your younger self? Let me just briefly, because I still have 2 more questions. What would you tell your younger self?
I'll tell my younger self, of course, be close to God, know God personally, because it depends on how young. My first 2 years of uni, UI, before I transferred to IFE, I played, partied and everything. When I got to IFE, God grabbed me and I fully gave my life to Christ. And I began to grow. I wish it was earlier, but it's okay. I'll say, hold on to God. A young person, hold on to God. Look, it's cool to know God. You can know God and still be smart, and still be beautiful, and still be brilliant. See, don't let people tell you that that's old school to know God. That's old school to say, yeah, I'm a God girl, I'm a Jesus girl. Be a Jesus girl. I still have friends. So know God early and hold on to him. And then 2, have a mentor. If God brings someone in your life that has walked your path, have a mentor. Have a mentor in school with respect to academics. If you're a young person, you're a student, don't struggle alone. You don't have to. Have a mentor in seeing someone who's done what you have done. It will cut a lot of, it will save a lot. It will cut your journey short. And not only that, even if it does not cut your journey and whatever the pain and everything you are still meant to go through, but there'll be someone walking with you as well. Apart from God, the Holy Spirit, there'll be someone. Because notice in the Bible, Mary, who was to carry Jesus, and the angel appeared to her. Said, you will be with child. She said, she first doubted, but then she said, okay, be it unto me according to your word. I don't know a man. And the angel was saying, as I'm speaking, you are pregnant. How? I don't know a man. But then he said, Elizabeth, your cousin, is in her 6th month. I will paraphrase. Don't you notice that she has been missing? Don't you notice you have not seen her in the last month? Then she would have thought, that's true. She's in her 6th month. She has gone to hide herself. She went to look for Elizabeth. And when she found Elizabeth, hey, pregnant woman, old woman, she now knew that, that was a total confirmation that she was already inside. I won't say the mess that she was in, because it was a good thing she was carrying the Savior, but she knew that, Adeyemi, good problem. But people are going to say, I got married out of wedlock, I slept, But that was a confirmation because 6 months already showing. Elizabeth opened the door. The baby in her leaped. And Elizabeth said, the baby in me is leaping. And Elizabeth prophesied that the mother of my Lord has come to me. So Mary then knew that what the angel told her, that you are carrying the Lord inside you and you did not sleep with a man. This is a double confirmation. Elizabeth, and the Bible says that Mary stayed there 3 months. That means she stayed there till Elizabeth delivered. She supported Elizabeth. She was asking her, how's it doing you? Morning sickness. She stayed there. She wanted to see how they birth a child. She stayed there till that child was bad, because her own day is coming. That was a kind of mentorship. Though an older woman, but going through a very strange pregnancy that people have forgotten. I will laugh at her. How can you at 90 something have a child? So have a mentor. If God leads you to one, have a mentor who will guide you, who would, So I've had mentors in ministry. I won't say the story of how, my mom connected me with Reverend Funke Adejumo. It was my mom that connected, but long story for another day. We still owe her, So until today, I try as much as possible that women call me, especially pastors, wife, how is this? And I share with them openly. I liberate them, And even to that end, in this season, I'm having a retreat, and I've told her, Mama has said, I can share it at the end of the talk. I'm having a retreat. But this retreat is unique. It's not all women. Please forgive me. It won't be all women. I know Mama does all women, Tanzania, all those places. And if the Lord leads me, maybe next year I'll add more. But this one, pastors' wives and ordained female ministers. Greetings from Australia. Oh my God, this is global. Pastors' wives and ordained, ordained female ministers. We're going to Dubai.
Where and when? Okay, good.
We are going to Dubai on the 19th to 24th of October. It's 5 nights. We might cut it to 4 nights, but if you look at my Instagram bio or my Twitter bio, I put a link. I've removed my link tree, but there's just a link there. And that link tree says Retreat with Funke Adeyemi, October 19 to 24. We're going to Dubai this October.
Fantastic.
Please just indicate interest. I've not put the money. I've not put this is what will cost you and all of that. Dubai visa is easy to get if you don't. Actually, little secret, it was to be Athens. The ambassador of Nigeria to Athens had invited me, come with women. When will you come? When will you come? And I said yes. But a few days ago, I was thinking, the visa to Athens, Schengen visa, my sisters from Nigeria, what if it's difficult? What if they don't get it on time? And October is around the corner. What if they're not able to get it? So I wrote the ambassador and I said, sis, she's one of us, she's a sister, lovely sister. Sis, I want to make the Athens next year because it's Schengen. I want to do Dubai is easier. I want to do Dubai now as the first one. And then when we do it, the women say, okay, where do you want us to go next? Name the place where you want to go. And then the following year, we will now do all that plan. Jesus said, come apart a while. There's a scripture for it. He said we should come apart to a solitary place. Mark 6. Come aside to a deserted place and rest. You are not resting. Pastor's wife, you cater for everybody. I'm a pastor's wife and I'm also a pastor. So I'm on the double table. Some of you are not pastor's wife, but you are pastors. You do a lot. And in these days, there's a lot of attack on the church. And pastors are doing, they take church money, they do not. But the pastors right too are suffering from that. They are hiding because they say, just come apart. And this is the 3 bullet points that I was given. Relaxation is the main thing. But we're going to add coaching, impartation, relaxation. If I was telling my children today that I am going to reverse it, it's going to be relaxation, impartation, coaching. So the coaching is not the main thing. I'll coach you. I will share you. There'll be Q&A. You will ask me, I will point into you for one day. The rest of the days, we'll go on tours. We will sleep. We will lie on the beach. We will do anyhow. We will play.
Ooh, it's mouth
you will be fresh
already.
You will be. If you cannot afford it, tell me. Give me your husband's phone number. If you know you are meant to be there, you are the wife of a GO, you're a wife of a pastor, and you can't afford it, give me your husband's phone number or email. My husband has agreed that he will prod the men.
Wow.
If a wife cannot afford it, let her husband make it happen for her. Then when we get in the coaching, I will show you how you will have your own money. That you will not always say, let daddy come, let daddy come, let daddy come. That the next one you will have. But for this one,
thank you, Pastor Nika. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
So go to my link in bio. You will see the form there. Yes. Give us your details if you are interested.
Please go ahead. If you're a pastor's wife or you're a female minister, Dubai, October 19th. Finally, we have overshot our time. It's usually 1 hour, but you've been fantastic today. finally, please, in few maybe minutes, what is your take on domestic violence?
Whoa, Mama, in few minutes. Okay, you said few minutes. How do I do this? Okay, in few minutes. I am allergic to domestic violence. When you are allergic to something, even if it's, they say, are you allergic to peanuts or something? That when you eat it, rashes, your eyes, immediate reaction that is not good. They will think it's something else that you did. I'm allergic to it. I have zero tolerance for it. Totally no tolerance for abuse. And I don't want us to play with abuse with no hitting, no slapping, no sexual abuse, married, single, from husband, from those who you don't even know. We are not agreeing. We are not, even before Sinati's case, it was a no, but her own case, after her case, 2 or 3 women opened up to me, DM, one called me, and even I knew, I said, what? And it was someone I didn't even, I knew her so much in our ministry. I said, what? I said, yes, I have to open up. I said, why God kept you so? I'm hoping you will change, but now she's okay. She's out of there. She's being rehabilitated and all that. So let us not accept abuse, because God did not say you shall beat a woman. He said you will love your wife as Christ loved the church. He says a woman
and
is
it can be the other way around too. It can be the
and it can be the other way
abusing
around.
the man.
It can be so. Women too, please don't be the abuser, because we are shouting, don't abuse women, don't abuse women. But there's some women too falling hand. There's some women we hear too that beat their husbands, or with their mouth.
Yes.
Hey, with their mouth, they have psychologically dealt with the man. We will not support you. We will not support you in that abuse. We non-abuse for both boys, girls, men, women. It should be a loving world, not a world of abuse.
Woo! Fantastic. Trinidad and Tobago, Japan, Australia, Ghana, Kenya, Sierra Leone, different parts, Nigeria, global tribe. It's been awesome.
God bless you all.
Telling me to bring you back for the second part. Please bring Pastor Nick back.
I'm at your service whenever you call.
Thank you. Please go on her page. Thank you. At Nick Adeyemi on her Instagram page, and then you'll be able to register for this. You don't want to miss it.
Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Thank you so very much.
And if you're not the pastor's wife, 3 or 4 of you, please, if you're not the pastor's wife, 3 or 4 of you can come together, if you're women of substance, and say, let's send our pastor's wife on this retreat. Let her go and come back fresher and more. You may not be a pastor's wife. You want to come, but you're not a pastor's wife. Sorry, when there's time for, just sow that seed and say, come, my friend, 4 of us, let's contribute money and register for her. Let's register her and send her on that trip. Let me tell you, she will look.
Fantastic. Yes, she'll be a better pastor's wife. Somebody is saying I didn't mention France, Paris. Yes, I see you. I can't mention all the nations. Thank you so very much, Pastor Nick, for being a blessing tonight. We really, really appreciate you. And I'm going to bring you back because I couldn't even finish asking the question. And we thank God for your children and your husband, Reverend Sam, for sharing you with the world. You are a blessing. Somebody said you are so humble that he or she has encountered you before. Different things. What is Pastor Nick's Facebook account? What's your Facebook account? Somebody's asking. Okay.
It's Nick Adeyemi. It's a Facebook page. Nick Adeyemi is a Facebook page.
So please go register for this retreat. You're going to thank us for it. Thank you again for being a blessing. We appreciate you. Fantastic night. God bless you.
Thank you for having me. Follow my podcast, Nikki Adeyemi, as well, and all that I've, have their books are there. Just take advantage. Thank you, Mama.
Thank you, and good night. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Rwanda, I see you. Please, if I don't mention your country, no problem. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here today. My people. Next week, Tuesday, I'm going to be having another guest. Do have a fantastic fun. At Nick Adeyemi's Instagram page too. For inquiries on FFA mentoring and coaching programs, please go send a mail to info@funkefelix@adejumo.org, or you call the number +234 818 029 9999. Love you too, everybody. Thank you. Have a fantastic night. I'm sorry we overshot our time today, but it was so good. Thank you all. Good night. Good night. Good night. Bye.